Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
Coming in hot for the podcast. Dude, we haven't missed a podcast in what feels like years.
Dude, remember when we used to miss them a lot? We were pretty lackadaisical with the pod. Now we're the opposite.
We would take like a month off, just randomly canceling pods.
We're on the regimen.
We're pretty dialed, I gotta say. I mean, once a week isn't that impressive, but the consistency and longevity of it so far is really something. So I'm glad we're getting today in.
We should give a shout to all the people who joined the mentorship ahead of the sale, the price increasing. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten a bunch of people signing up, and just want to give you a shout. Welcome to the mentorship. We'll see you in the Q&A. We're doing a Q&A in like 45 minutes. We'll see you in there.
Right after this.
Yeah. So we're doing that. We're going to be changing the schedule actually in the near future for the entirety of the mentorship. Prior, we've always done 2 Q&As a month. We're going to be switching to 1 weekly. Every week we're going to be doing a Q&A soon. So welcome and congrats to all the people who've joined ahead of the price increase.
Yeah, absolutely. And the increase in frequency is largely just because we're seeing more success in people who are consistently showing up to Q&As, and the accountability factor of those lives, we're getting positive feedback on, and so we're ramping it up. I'm excited about it too. Weekly pods, weekly Q&As. I'm trying to pull up my file and give some real shout outs by name, but my computer is giving me some issues at the moment.
The government's probably hacked in there.
I don't think I have anything the government wants at this point in my life.
I've been watching too much Edward Snowden.
You have been.
Oh yeah, I have been.
I don't think the government hacks you for watching Edward Snowden. I think the government would come after you for being Edward Snowden.
Dude, based on what Snowden says, they're watching everybody, or at least they were.
Couple real quick shout outs just in recent. Chris, Christopher, Scott, Sam, Heidi, Amanda. Welcome to
the mentorship.
We're pumped to have you. I'm excited to pod, bro. I still have some pre-workout left, which I'm going to drink for the caffeine because I didn't play my cards right this morning and left myself 28 minutes for a workout, which I never do.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Did you get a workout in or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I can't later today. I would normally reschedule it, but I had a push day, modified everything, got it in.
Nice. Way to go. I had a workout in my garage workout.
Ooh.
Took the sandbag out in the driveway. Did some, it's this suburban life. This is where it's at.
You're a suburban man now.
Yeah. Took the air bike out, took the Airdyne, put it out in the driveway, sandbag out there, kettlebells, Bulgarian bag, maces. Neighbors are like, what the hell? Who just moved in our neighborhood? Like, what is this guy doing? But yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Has it been nice outside?
Oh, it's been incredible. It's been like absolutely perfect.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. I like the heat. It's like 90s. I really like the heat.
And the sun. You can't beat that UV.
It's the best.
Yeah. Just feel different.
I've been, so I don't have the cardio machines that I have. I have my Airdyne bike and I have the walking pad. I'm going to get a treadmill and eventually I'll get an elliptical. I want to outfit an entire gym. But right now I've got the air bike and the walking pad. The walking pad doesn't go very fast. Right?
And,
so they're really
and we're
only...
we're talking 3-car garage with 1 car in it in your whole...
No cars in it. The entire garage is gym.
Where do you put your car?
In the driveway.
A lot of trust in those neighbors.
I mean, we've got ring cams and we've got like if they do something, they're on.
Okay.
We know what's going on.
Cool.
And the guy came over first when he moved in, introduced himself, super nice guy. Anyway.
Well, then nothing bad can happen.
Yeah. No one who's ever introduced himself has ever committed a crime. Anyway.
3-car garage is a good amount of space. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Great space. But like riding on the Airdyne for like 30, 40, 50 minutes sucks. Just like for that zone 2. And I could go out and I could run and do that stuff. But basically, it's been cool having the whole gym to myself. And I've been doing more circuit style training as a way of getting more in rather than just sitting on the Airdyne or just running. Like I'll go on the Airdyne for 5 minutes. Then I'll do like different Bulgarian bag stuff or kettlebell stuff or mace stuff or whatever. Get back on the bike for 5 minutes. And I go back and forth. And I'll do like today I did bike 5 minutes, Bulgarian bag rotations, mace rotations, back on the bike for 5 minutes. I did 6 rounds of that. So I did like 30 minutes on the bike in total while doing some mobility and like stability work in between. Went by so fast. It's
Nice.
Like the 30 minutes on the bike went by so much faster than if I just was sitting on there for 30 minutes straight.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just 5 minutes on, off, 5 minutes on, off, 5 minutes on, off. It's like you're only going to 5 minutes, not going to 30, 40, whatever. So it just went by much faster. And I feel like more productive too. I was able to get off, get some movement in, some rotations. That rotational work, man.
I was going to say,
thoracic
you
rotation,
like,
man.
You like getting some spinal rotation. Feels good.
Big spinal rotation, spinal flexion guy.
Not extension though. Just flexion?
Well, I feel like I get enough extension. I mean, the neutral posture is already slightly extended anyway. So
yours is.
I do.
Most are.
That lordotic posture, it's already slightly extended. And I do get enough of that. But like, I feel like the rotation work and then deep spinal, like last night, I did a workout last night and I'm just holding these stretches, like light weighted stretches. I'll get up on a little box and I'll get a sandbag and I'll do a toe touch, but I'll hold the light sandbag. It's like 20 pounds and it will pull me down. So like I'm doing a really, really, really deep toe touch with the added weight from the sandbag. And I just held that for between 3 to 5 minutes for a couple sets. And it just,
wow. 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, so your feet are elevated?
No, I'm standing on a box. On a box. And so, yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant my feet were like in the air. Yeah. My feet, I'm elevated.
No,
I'm standing on a box.
You're not. This isn't Harry Potter. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a deficit stretch type of a thing. I'm reaching, if I was doing it on the floor, I wouldn't be able to go as far down, but because I'm on the box, I can reach further and further down.
What is that deadlift variation you were doing where you're essentially taking that move through its range?
Oh yeah, with the sandbag. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Actually, I need to do that one again.
But this sounds like just a static hold, and you're probably sinking deeper and deeper and getting like more and more range at the bottom in a 3 to 5 minute weighted set like that.
Yeah, like every minute, I'll try and get a little bit deeper. Like every minute, I'll just go a little bit deeper. Pause. I know what you're saying. You got that smirk on your face.
That's awesome.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
I'm jealous of the solo workout.
What do you mean?
No other humans.
Would you ever like do that in your garage, just like, or basement or whatever, just set up a whole gym? I feel like you like going to the gym.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it. I like going to a gym where I don't know anyone, which is why I have to switch gyms every 6 months, because then you get to know someone and then there's conversation, and next thing you know, your 90-second rest is like 11 minutes and you're like, how am I stuck in this conversation right now? It's just, yeah. Basement over garage. Minnesota garage. I don't know how that would, it might be kind of cool in the winter.
Yeah, walk in the snow, like that clip I just posted of you on the Instagram page.
Dorian Yates.
Yeah.
Legend.
It's funny. I'm listening to Edward Norton on Joe Rogan now. I Googled like Joe Rogan's best podcast episodes. I'm just like going through. And Edward Norton is one of my all-time favorite actors, just like one of the greatest of all time. And he was, him and Joe were talking about, I just said Joe as if I know him. I don't know Joe Rogan. But him and Joe were talking about some of their favorite musicians. And they were talking about like Eric Clapton and Lenny Kravitz and people who just changed music forever. And I forget who specifically they were talking about in this instance, but Edward Norton brought up this one musician who he was so far ahead of his time, and he was such a unique person because every time he did something that people loved, he would immediately stop doing it. And as soon as people gave him positive feedback, he would change it immediately. He'd be like, oh, you like that? All right, well, now I'm going to do this instead, and I'm not going to do that ever again. And then at first people would be like upset. They'd be like, what are you doing? Like, apparently this guy, I forget who it was. He was big with acoustic. He got big from acoustic guitar. And then at a huge event when he was really young and like just started to get famous, he was like, screw that. And he plugged in an electric guitar. And people got pissed, and people were trying to cut the cords with like axes and knives, trying to like calling him a traitor. Da, da, da. He didn't care. He was like, turn up the sound, let's blare it louder. Da 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 da. And then once people started like that, then he was like, oh, you like that? Then he switches. And Edward Norton was saying like, how many people do you know who just as soon as they get positive feedback, they go the complete other direction? Because no one does that. In my mind, I was like, oh, I know one person who does that. I know one guy who, as soon as he gets a positive feedback, like immediate, oh, you like that I did that? All right, I'm going to do something completely different now. That's you. I was like, the whole time, I was like, that's Mike.
That's really funny. I remember listening to that episode because I like Edward Norton a lot too. And, but I don't remember that story from it. That's really funny. Yeah. The recognition of ego and then like not liking the way that the positive feedback feels and then pivoting as a result of that. Because it's not like taking away like, oh, you like this? I'm going to make sure you don't get something you enjoy. That's not the thought process. It's like, this is so good. You're so great. Do more, do more. It's like, I'm not that great. I'm not doing more. I don't know. I saw a funny, somewhat related, and maybe we'll have David play this clip, but I saw a clip of Tom Brady talking about his mindset when he was playing football and his mindset heading into a game, and very like Michael Jordan, very like Gary, very like things that you and I have talked about over the years, which is, he said the strongest emotion for his success is anger, and that when he didn't have it, he would drum something up. He would latch on to any little thing. Oh, you disrespect me as a quarterback? Oh, you think I can't make this throw? You think that like, F you, like I'll show you that like mindset.
You've got to create a lot of different emotion to heighten your sense of awareness and focus. Like for me, anger was good. Anger was good because it was motivating. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys. Now, I knew I wasn't going to kill them physically, but man, if I could just, what did they say? You know, and what did they look like? And did they disrespect me at all? You know, and did that asshole say something? Like, those are little things that can get me right in the emotional frame of mind that when I ran on the field and I said, let's fucking go.
And almost talking about how he had to or I think I inferred that he had to manufacture that at certain points in his career when he didn't actually have it, which is so relatable for me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah. Do you have any like moments in time that you can explicitly remember where you had to manufacture that?
Dude, remember when I didn't even know I was manufacturing it? Remember when I made the post and I was like, some of my contemporaries were saying I'm retired. I'm not retired. Like, yeah, tons. But here's the interesting thing. There was way more actual anger than there was manufactured anger.
Yeah.
Once the actual anger started to run out, there were some instances of manufactured anger to get through hard work sessions. But at a certain point, manufactured anger is still real anger, and you don't want to hold on to that. It's better to be motivated by light than by darkness. And so, which I think is harder. I think being motivated by dark, kind of like a lot of the stuff Tim Grover, I believe that's his name, Kobe and Michael's old personal trainer, in his book Relentless talks about that, like being motivated by the dark side. Great for monetary success and like worldly success, probably not the best thing long-term for your soul. But to each their own. But no, don't put this solely on me. Like, you've maybe not manufactured anger, but you don't think that anger has been the strongest emotion for you when you were...
I didn't put anything on you. I just asked if you remembered any moments. I didn't say this was only you. I was just curious.
Okay.
It's real angry there. Don't put this on me.
I'm not angry. Here's the fortunate or unfortunate thing. I'm actually not angry these days, which is directly correlated to output.
What do you mean? You put out less content, you mean?
I mean, when I actually had things to be angry about or carried anger around, yeah, I created a lot more. Contentment leads to less of that for me. Some people, there are a small number of people, I believe, who create purely out of love of the game. But I think that's, I don't know, 1% of people on the internet, 2% maybe, perhaps less.
Yeah, it's very, I think now it's even more rare than ever because people start creating now with the intent to get something as a result of it. They don't start creating because they love it. Yeah.
It's one of those two things. I want to be a TikToker. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to get fame. I want to get money.
Yeah. Whereas before, like Dom Mazzetti, that guy, and I don't know him, but when he started making content, I feel like he started doing it because it was hilarious and he loved it. Like that type of individual, I don't think exists anymore because it's before. I think you really had to jump through hoops at that point in time to start posting online. You had to figure it out. You had to, and there's still a level of figuring it out, but it was different. Like you couldn't just do it from your phone as easily as you could now. You had to plan it out. It was not as easy, not as streamlined. You had to really go out of your way and you had to enjoy that process. Now it's like, it's so much easier and the potential benefits are so much easier to come by. And they're so much more in your face, I would say, not necessarily easier to come by. They're more in your face. More people have them. They're more realistic, I think. And
more people are doing it. There's more case studies, more success stories, more attention on the internet. So it's a bigger driver of marketing for every business.
Yeah. Not many people doing it for the love of the game.
But when I picture you circa 20 pre-Israel move, so like, I don't know, 2013, 2014, and I picture you sitting on your couch for 14 straight hours, just answering emails for 14 straight hours. I picture a charged up, like, young, hungry, single, chip on shoulder, something to prove dude.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And as whatever is underlying that motivation,
fear.
Yeah. Well, no, because you still have that.
Yeah.
But I think there were probably even more, because anger and fear are different. You're definitely more motivated by fear now than anger.
Correct. Yeah. I think there was definitely more anger and ego then. And now less anger, ego, far less, like no anger and very little ego and much more fear. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have fear or much anger or ego. Or fortunately, there's pros and cons. It's interesting.
You're just Epicurean. You're just like, yeah, like, it's good. Let's go to the grocery store. Let's go on a walk outside.
I do like moving a lot. I think all humans would benefit from, I think 99% of humans would benefit from more movement.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some questions. That was solid banter.
I just texted Lane Norton because he put up a phenomenal post on seed oils, which are just one of the things that are getting a huge bad reputation right now. And I just texted him. I said, amazing post on seed oils. And he replies, people are losing their minds, LOL. It was he made a great post because it's a huge question right now about seed oils. It's one of the things that all these carnivore people and nonsense are hating on seed oils, but he broke it down super well, basically like explaining where the misinformation is coming from, why people are misinterpreting data, and then what the actual randomized human control trials are saying, which are different than epidemiological or in vitro studies. Like, let's actually look at real people in real circumstances. He made a great post about that.
Shout out Lane. Lane's a beast.
Did I send you the picture of the DM I got from the guy yesterday who sent me a vial of his blood after doing a year on carnivore?
Yeah.
How absolutely wild is that?
I mean, I don't know. It looked weird for sure. Did he send you his numbers?
Yeah. He didn't send me his numbers, but here, look. That's his blood. His triglycerides are so high that it. What's the name? I forget the name of this. I started Googling it and doing research. I spoke to Spencer Nadolsky, Danielle Bellardo, who's a cardiologist, about this.
I got it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, all right, enough. Take it off the screen.
Yeah.
I think it's called lipemic. Basically, where there was so much fat in the blood that after they let this sit for 5 minutes, that you could actually start to see the fat congeal in the same way that you see fat on a steak. You see marbling on a steak, like that's fat. Mm-hmm. And this guy's blood had so much fat in it that it actually congeals. And I started Googling it, researching it. I texted Spencer Nadolsky about it. I texted Danielle Bellardo about it, who's a cardiologist. She's going to come on my podcast. We're going to have a whole conversation about it. She said the stories that she has about people who've been fooled into doing carnivore like are so unbelievably sad. Like the number of people that she's worked with who are like dead set doing carnivore, and she told me she has to, when she has to write up reports that she will tell a patient, like, I told you not to do carnivore, and they need to sign off on it. They need to sign it. That she has to literally say, like, just please say, like, I'm telling you don't do this, but of your own volition, you're ignoring what I'm telling you. And those people come back and they get more and more sick, and they get liver issues, kidney issues, pancreas issues, all these issues that come from this. And this guy, it's crazy because I kept talking to him throughout the day. And he told me that he goes, CT scans showed damage to liver, pancreas, and kidneys. It's just absolutely wild. And this is a military guy. So he's in the military and he's active military. So he's very fit, very healthy. Otherwise, like he exercises all the time. This is not an issue of him just being sedentary. Mm-hmm. So that just absolutely, I knew it's not a smart diet. And some people might be able to follow it and be okay. I don't know. But that blew me away to see like that level of fat in his blood.
I would love to see if he has blood work pre and post a year of carnivore. That would be really interesting.
Yeah, me as well.
But yeah, man, like it's funny. This is probably a year ago now. I texted Spencer. I was like, dude, amazing SEO work on that cholesterol video. And he's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Because when I typed into YouTube maybe a year and a half ago, how to reduce cholesterol naturally, and just seeing what all was out there, and his video was the first one, and it was super straightforward. It was a 9-minute video, but there were 4 takeaways, and I think I remember them all. It was reduce saturated fat, which someone who's eating carnivore. And carnivore people tend to lean toward red meat for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So they're eating 100 grams of saturated fat a day, depending on how many calories they're eating, maybe more than that, which is a massive amount. Decrease saturated fat, increase fiber, reduce sugar, and increase polyunsaturated fats. I believe were the 4,
that makes sense.
Reduce saturated fat was the big one. And I've seen so many people in a matter of months watch their LDL, watch their, total cholesterol levels, watch their VLDL, watch ApoB, watch these markers go down in a very short amount of time by making these dietary changes. And carnivore, you're getting massive amounts of saturated fat. You're getting zero fiber, zero. It's not good. Yeah. And you can obviously do it and lose weight, like high protein, control your calories. Like there's a lot of satiety. You're eliminating tons of foods that are easy to overeat, right? So if someone who's overweight or obese limits most foods, which in turn leads to their calories being in a decent place, they're going to lose weight. And you can build muscle / retain muscle because it's a high protein diet. Cool. But like you just showed, just because you're retaining muscle, losing weight, and if your food quality is not great, doesn't necessarily mean it's good for your health.
Yeah, I also think if you take someone who's morbidly obese and they do this and it helps them lose a lot of weight, I think in that instance, that person's going to get healthier. They're going to lose a lot of body fat. Their numbers are going to improve. But what happens when that person reaches a healthy body weight and then now they're no longer in a caloric deficit and they're eating more around maintenance, potentially even surplus calories with these super high saturated fats, no fiber, all of that. That's when I think we're going to have real issues. Not to mention, yes, again, short term, I think we'll see overall health improve. But my concern also would be on kidneys, liver, pancreas, with that super high level protein, very high fat, and literally no fiber, even when they are losing body fat and improving the majority of other health markers. And just long term, it's not good.
You're a big kidney, liver, pancreas guy these days.
Big time, dude. Big time kidney, liver, pank. KLP. KLP. That's what they call me.
Do they?
That's what they say. Yeah, I'm the KLP guy.
That makes sense. Your neighbors in the suburbs call you that?
Yeah. That's what they get at the community barbecues. KLP's here.
Kelp.
They put it on my grill, on my Traeger. KLP. They gifted it to me.
That's where you know you're watching too much Rogan. On my Traeger.
I only say that just because we've been to Home Depot like 6 times in the last month because we were moving. We had to keep going and get boxes, and they had Traegers there. And I was like, oh man, these look nice. Yeah. Do you have a grill? Do you grill?
Don't grill a ton, but have a grill. Yeah.
What is it? You don't want to get too much of the charcoal there? Why don't you like
it's a gas grill?
Oh, got it. Okay.
No, my wife makes amazing dinners, and I'm usually not the one preparing, but occasionally I'll grill.
Got it. Okay. What do you like to grill?
Tonight, I'm having some family over and grilling burgers.
Oh, nice. So you are a griller. You grill?
You just hit me on the right day. It's been several weeks since I've grilled, but yeah.
What are you going to grill? Burgers? Turkey burgers?
No, we have that cow that we purchased.
Oh, you bought a cow.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of my family and siblings, and yeah.
You all like split a cow financially and physically.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have that. Beef is so good, so tender and delicious. So we'll do that tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, man, not eating any fruits and vegetables indefinitely, I mean, is one thing, but then to be like a guru around it and market it as the best diet for health is pretty wild.
Dude, it's pretty dangerous, man. How do you prepare your burgers to grill? Like, do you do anything with eggs? How do you do it?
It's like if I was like, Jordan, what's your strategy in Texas Hold'em?
No, it's not. You grill. You've grilled. So I
just said I barely grill. I don't know. I Googled.
But what do you do? I'm
going to Google best way to grill burgers, and then I'm going to make some patties, and I don't know, put some spices and stuff in there. I'm not a chef. Back in the day, do you know what I used to do? I used to just burn the crap out of chicken breasts, like 6 to 8 at a time on my stove, and like overcook them because then you get the jaw fatigue, then you're not as hungry. I was like 7% body fat. And then I would use very small amounts of barbecue sauce as like the carb in the meal, and I would eat that.
Yeah.
And so I'd basically have this 100 gram of protein and like 20 gram carb, almost zero fat meal. And then 1 out of 3 times later that night, I'd have to have 2 bowls of cereal because I'd be so dang hungry because dinner wasn't satisfying at all. But it was Kashi Goleen high fiber, high protein cereal.
Kashi Goleen, not the crunch though. That's too high calorie.
I don't think in my 3 college years when I was like eating Kashi Goleen consistently, which I still remember had like 4.5 fat, 13 protein, and like 13-ish carb, and 9 was from fiber or something ridiculous. I don't think I ever bought the crunch where it was like 5 protein, 25 carb, like 8 fat. I was like, what is this? Why is this even kashi?
In my house, when I was a kid, when my parents would go through phases of like, all right, we're going to be healthy now, they would get kashi Goleen Crunch.
Nice. Oh, crunch.
The crunch. That's like the house that, my family didn't know health and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
But I remember as I got into it more and I started to read the nutrition labels, I was like, why the fuck? And I was like, can you get the Go Lean? And they were like, why? It tastes terrible. I was like, yeah, but look at the nutrition panel.
Yeah. Well, because the crunch had both, I think it was slivered almonds and these like granola. These like granola balls that were coated in something that made it tasty that, were sugar.
Yeah, it was just straight. It might as well have been Captain Crunch. They just still branded it Kashi Go Lean, but it was Captain Crunch.
Yeah. Want to fire up a question?
All right. So someone said, I just joined the inner circle and I've cut calories to be in a calorie deficit, but now I'm cranky a lot. How do I control that?
Hangry.
Yeah, hangry.
Should we assume that it's a reasonable deficit and not an extremely large deficit, which is going to be not sustainable and lead to higher amounts of hangriness?
Yeah, because hopefully since they joined the inner circle, they're doing it properly. But some of them join the inner circle and then hey, I know you said do goal body weight by 12, but I did goal body weight by 8. And I'm like, all right, well, then you're not following my fucking instructions. So assuming that they actually did goal body weight by 12 and it's a sustainable deficit, yeah, we're going to assume that.
I mean, there's a few things going on. One could be related to food choice and making sure you're getting enough protein, making sure you're having enough fiber, making sure you're having slightly higher volume foods like fruits and vegetables and fewer very dense foods like a Snicker bar is going to lead to a bit more satiety and probably you feeling better. There's also a part of me that, I don't know this individual, so I can't gauge like what was baseline hangriness versus where they're at now and like how in a bad mood are they as a result of this. But being in a deficit sucks. Like it's not fun at all. You just did it for 30 days, which isn't a tremendous amount of time. And by like 2/3 of the way in, you were like, this sucks. Like I don't enjoy this at all. And so there's also an element of understand that fat loss phases are only temporary and it is very unenjoyable, but you will get to a place where you're going to be able to maintain that progress. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah,
I like that. I think one of the things that we could talk about food choice and all that, but I feel like we've spoken about that enough. And like, I think more the psychology component is the most important. Yeah, get the book, Eat It.
We crushed that chapter. How to stay full in a calorie deficit.
I think you hit on a really important point, which is like being in a calorie deficit sucks. The other thing is a lot of people, when they go into a calorie deficit, they're not really that consistent, which just extends the duration of the calorie deficit. And so they just have to do it for longer. It's like, if you are ridiculously consistent for 30, 60, 90 days, you will lose an unbelievable amount of weight in a very sustainable way so that you don't have to do it for very long. Whereas if you just are like 40%, 50% consistent, that's fine, but it's going to take way, way longer and make it more psychologically draining. It's like you're in this calorie deficit prison for a year or 2 years or 3 years when you could just be in jail for like 30, 60, 90 days. And that's fine. That like it sucks, but like it's better to be in there for 90 days than it is there to be there for 3 years. So you get unbelievably consistent for those 30, 60, 90 days. You make tremendous progress. If you want to then go on a maintenance break for a month, 2 months, 3 months, go for it. Go on maintenance, go on vacation, whatever it is. Like, don't go off the rails, but increase your calories. Then if you want to come back and lose more, you go for it. But I think it's one of the biggest issues is like, know you're going to be hungry, know you're going to have to make sacrifices. Like, and that might mean either when you go to dinner, you don't order the meal that you really want, you get a different meal. Maybe when you get the meal that you really want, you immediately take half of it and put it into a to-go container so that you don't have the entire meal sitting in front of you. Maybe you don't drink as much alcohol as you normally would. Maybe you like really force yourself to get your steps in, your workouts, and you don't want to do it. Like, yeah, you make some sacrifices so that you can reach your goal more quickly because you know it's going to suck. You know it's not going to be fun. And again, this is assuming that your nutrition is really good. If you haven't read Eat It and you want to like, or like whatever, like all like how to stay full in a calorie deficit, there's a million articles and all that, but high quality food and be really consistent and suck it up for a relatively brief period of time and be super consistent. And then also having smart snacks around. Like for me, I have miso soup. So anytime I'm hungry, like boom, 20 calorie packet of miso soup, boom. It staves off my hunger. Easy. I have like a big salad. Boom. Easy. Whatever. I have like, there are so many different little snack options you can have. But the consistency part is, I think, the most underrated and most important.
I was literally just going to say that. One of the huge benefits of maintaining a consistency calendar is that you can't lie to yourself. Because it's way too easy to be on track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, half a Thursday, and then just kind of a bite of this, eat this, not tracking Friday, not tracking Saturday, going to the barbecue, eating the pizza, like rationalizing, it's the weekend, other people are doing it, I've been working so hard, I deserve this, see the scale the next week, no fat loss progress, or maybe the scale's up a little bit, getting frustrated, and then being even unintentionally, like lying to yourself about how your consistency has been. Whereas if you're maintaining a consistency calendar, you're going to see like X's and O's or green check, red X, however you want to do it. You're going to see, I was on track for 3 days and then I wasn't for 3 days. And then I was on track for 2 days and then I wasn't for 4 days. And understand that you need a lot better consistency than that to see progress. And like you just said, it's going to extend the time you're in a deficit. Being in a deficit sucks. So it's going to extend the amount of time that this is unenjoyable. It's going to reduce your ability to stick with it. So yeah, hunker down for a shorter amount of time rather than like be in limbo for 2 or 3 or 5 times that amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. People don't like the idea of making sacrifices much. It's
in life.
In general, yeah, the idea. Well, everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, sometimes you're going to have to. This is essentially what I mean when I've spoken in the past about how sometimes in order to achieve balance, you have to go through periods of unbalance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people just want to have balance right away. So, but sometimes in order to create balance, you have to toe the line. You have to like go to an edge. You have to push the boundary. Know where, because how can you know where middle ground is if you've never gone to the edge? You don't know where the edge is. So you might think you're in the middle, but you've only taken half a step and you have 100 more steps to go. So how can you really know what balance is if you've never seen both sides? I think in order to really be balanced, you have to, okay, you know what? For me to be balanced with my nutrition, I have to know what it's like to be meticulous with my nutrition so that then I can pull back and be like, you know what? I don't have to be that meticulous. I can be a little bit less and still be fine. But if you've never, ever tracked meticulously, even for a week, then how can you possibly know what balance is? I think sometimes you really need to push that boundary if you're really going to reach a point in which you can actually be balanced. And I think this goes for everything. Work-life balance, family, relationships, fitness, nutrition, all of it. Like if you want to have real balance, you have to push the boundaries so you know what balance is.
Well said. Mic drop. We're wrapping. We got a live stream with the mentorship in 6 minutes. Jordan, tell everyone what's happening in less than 30 seconds with the price increase.
Our price is increasing for the mentorship dramatically. This is happening within the next week or two. If you want to get in the mentorship, allow us to help you build an online fitness business for you that you can reach more people, help more people, improve more people's lives, and also provide support for you and your family, work from home. We would love that. Join, link in the description.
Bang. Weekly uploads. That's what we do. We'll be here next week. See you next Tuesday. Have the best week. See you soon.